Hello and welcome back, my fairies. I am Matsurific, and we are back with another episode review for Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir Season 5. If you are watching this the day of release, then just know that I am going to be streaming today the new Miraculous game, Rise of the Sphinx, so I hope to see you all there. It will be also up for all to see after I'm done streaming, and apparently the game's supposed to be kind of short, so look forward to a bunch of challenges and stuff, because that's one thing that I'm hoping to do with that. But anyways, we are moving on to episode 5 today? Yes, 5. It is Determination, or no, it is episode 4. Yeah, we're on episode 4 today, Jubilation, yeah, it came out just recently, and now this is going to be, we're going to be watching the subtitled version, but it'll be out on Disney Channel this weekend for those of you who are in the States, so please be sure to support the official release. I will, of course, be rewatching this in English when it is officially released. But for now, this is all we can really do. So I'm going to stop rambling a bit. Well, all these reviews tend to be rambles, but for this episode, we have a few things that we're going over. We've got a few things that we already know about this episode ahead of time. So this is supposed to be the Bridget episode. Originally, this was the Dark Owl episode, but now it's the Bridget episode. So yeah, we're supposed to be seeing Bridget today. Not a whole lot of info to go on from the trailers. This is usually the part where we speculate on what's going to happen in this episode, but we really don't know much about this episode for once. So there's not really much we could theorize about it. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go watch the episode now. Again, there's not really much to talk about at video, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, well, that was an interesting episode. I mean, there's a lot of sweet stuff in it, but also kind of sad too. It was interesting. So they call Bridget Jacqueline, and I'm guessing it's supposed to be like Jacqueline, with a J. The subtitles spelled it with an S, but I'm gonna call her Jacqueline. Although it's I also kind of just want to call her Bridget because we as fans know her as Bridget, but I don't know. I guess Jacqueline. Okay, I'll probably slip into one or the other, but if I say Jacqueline or Bridget, they're the same person. So we get just like in the trailers, we get Marinette is running around, getting her jogs in. And she and Tiki talk about the new rings alliance. I keep calling it the Gabriel rings, but it's called Alliance. And they acknowledge the fact that it's actually a 3D model. It's not the real Adrian. And it actually seems really handy. And then that's when she overhears Mr. Damocles, who is saving Miss Rochelle's kitten, like always, and then he gets stuck on the ladder trying to save the cat, and that's when Jacqueline comes along dressed as Ladybug and helps to save him. And she's like, yeah, that's what I do, I'm Ladybug, I'm a superhero. And then Marinette recognizes her, because apparently she used to go to school with her. I guess Jacqueline is a grade above her, so she knows her, and she goes up to her and she's like, Jacqueline? And she's like, what? No, I'm Ladybug, I'm a hero. And then she runs off, kind of worried that Marinette recognized her, and then she goes off and does her thing. Mr. Damocles, you get to see him without his mask, but everyone in Paris knows that he's Mr. Damocles. He just pretends like nobody knows him for some reason. But Then we get Marinette, knowing where Jacqueline works. She runs home and talks to her mom real quick and is like, "Hey, Mom, you needed those new paints, right? Yeah, let me go run them, get them for you. Bye." And then she leaves, which her mom doesn't realize what's actually going on. She just thinks that Marinette's doing something really sweet for her, which is cute. But it's really just a cover story, so she can go and talk to Jacqueline without saying, "Oh yeah, I'm Ladybug, and that's why I came to see you." She's like, "Oh no, actually I just need these paints." So she goes, and Tiki's all worried about, "Oh, you're not gonna tell her that you're Ladybug, are you?" She's like, "Of course not, I'm just gonna talk to her, at first it's like Tiki is concerned more about Marinette revealing her identity and not about the fact that this girl without superpowers is masquerading as Ladybug and getting into dangerous situations. But it's also like, well, I mean, yeah, that is a thing, but at the same time, she also needs to make sure that Jacqueline's not doing anything dangerous because, yeah, she doesn't have a super suit to protect her. So she goes to the store that Jacqueline works at, and they talk for a little bit, and we find out that Jacqueline used to go to school with Marinette, but she's in high school now. So we get confirmation that they are indeed in a junior high. They still refer to Francois Dupont as a high school, but I guess it's not like an actual high school, because Jacqueline doesn't actually go to school with her anymore. So, like, she even mentions, is Chloe still being a brat? And she's like, yeah, but she's not the least of my worries anymore. And Jacqueline's like, man, I knew I should have been held back a year. So I guess she's a year two. No, she would be 2 years older, because it says later that, I believe they say later that she's 16. Marinette puts her order in and, starts asking questions, but tries not to reveal the fact that she's Ladybug or that she knows that it was Bridget under that mask. And she asks Jacqueline about what she's been up to, and apparently she's been doing gymnastics, taekwondo, and then she helps her mom out with the shop. So this arts and crafts store is her mother's shop. So yeah, and I have to say, making her a few years older and putting her in high school is a good way of making her a new character without expecting her to be around for a whole lot. Because we used to get that a lot, we would get these new characters that don't really interact too much on a day-to-day basis with the main characters, but they still, prop up every now and then. That does help to make the world feel more alive. Like, you get characters like little baby August and his mom. I think that's actually really good that they're finally bringing that back. It's like, oh yeah, that here's this random one-off character. You might see them again, but you don't have to see her again. So yeah, she's basically just another background character that we might get to see from now on. She talks about everything that she's been up to, and then she pulls out Alliance and puts in her order. And Marinette's like, oh yeah, I've been seeing these, but this is the first time I've seen one in person. It's so realistic. And they talk about how the Adrian model is pretty realistic. Like, you almost can't differentiate him between the real Adrian. And that's when they talk about how, oh, you know Adrian? Yeah, he sits in front of me in class. And then Jacqueline listens to Marinette talking about Adrian and how much they've gotten to know each other. And she's like, oh, are you two together? She's like, no, we're just friends. An interesting thing that I'm glad Marinette found kind of weird is that you can put the virtual Adrian in different outfits, and it's like, yeah, that does feel kind of weird when you're doing this with a person that you actually know. It's like, for Jacqueline's point of view, it's kind of understandable because she doesn't know Adrian as a real person. She just knows him as a celebrity from the ads, and also he voiced Cat Noir in the movie. So yeah, from her point of view, he's just, some celebrity. And it's like, yeah, she probably doesn't feel all that weird putting him in all these different customizable outfits. But for Marinette, it's like, she knows him. And it's kind of weird because she knows him as a real person. And I am glad to see that, because they're addressing the fact that Adrian is within canon. They're addressing the fact that he is a real person. And it's like, you're acting this way towards somebody that you know is a real person. And it's like, it's kind of weird when you really think about it. Like when you see people writing fan fiction about real celebrities and not just the characters that they play on TV or whatever. So yeah, and that kind of gives a bit of insight into that whole aspect, which was really cool. I'm glad to see that. So they continue talking, and then Mr. Damocles comes in looking for I guess he's looking to get some updates for his costume. And Marinette's still going on about the whole thing with the superheroes and everything, and she accidentally says some stuff that discourages Mr. Damocles, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm not just a regular principal, I'm a superhero. Wait, no, it's the other way around. I'm not a superhero, I'm just a principal. And the Marinette's like, yeah, and that's a good thing that you're not masquerading around as a superhero, right? Because that's really dangerous. And then Jacqueline is like, well, I mean, you could help people and stuff. And Marinette is the one saying that, no, it's too dangerous if you don't have superpowers and a super suit. And Mr. Damocles kind of takes that the wrong way, thinking that he's the one that this is being directed to. Not really realizing that it's for Jacqueline. I'm sure if he realized that Jacqueline was the ladybug that he saw that morning, that he would also be telling her, no, this is dangerous. I'm an adult. You are a child. Leave this to the adults and the superheroes. At least that would be the responsible thing for him to say. But he accidentally takes that the wrong way and thinks that it's directed at him. But he also apparently mistakes it as Jacqueline being right, because we then get because later on, well, I'll get to that later. But yeah, he leaves the store all sad and stuff, and then, well, no, not yet. Marinette gets an alert on Jacqueline's alliance, because Jacqueline lent it to her to put on her finger and stuff to try it out, and she gets an alert that scientist that we still haven't gotten an actual episode to get to know her yet. We've only had 2 scenes of this scientist before. One of them saving the dinosaurs that she brought back, and then one of her talking with Markov about her theories. But we haven't actually gotten to know her yet. I'm hoping we get to actually know her soon. But she created a dinosaur pigeon hybrid, which are now flying around Paris. So Marinette leaves and goes to deal with that whole situation off screen, while Jacqueline is talking with Mr. Damocles and trying to encourage him to not lose hope and stuff. And then he leaves, and Marinette comes back, and it's like, oh yeah, she uses the excuse of, oh yeah, I forgot to lock up my scooter, ha ha ha. And then Jacqueline's like, yup, that's you. At least some things never change. And so like, can I have my alliance back now? And so Marinette gives it back to her, and Jacqueline is like really shocked to see that it says that she's been all over Paris. She's like taken so many steps. And she's like, what did you do with my alliance? And she's like, oh, it must be a bug. Ha ha ha. And she's like, oh yeah, that's probably it. I'll just do a quick factory reset. But that actually alerts Gabriel, who's already transformed at this point. Oh no, he hasn't transformed yet, I don't think. Yeah, he hasn't transformed yet, but he gets a notification on his alliance that somebody has had so many steps that exceed normal human limitations. And I find it interesting that his alliance navigator is Emily, versus the public ones, which are just you could choose between Adrian and Lila, but this one is with Emily, which is interesting. But I guess that's, plays into the whole thing of Gabriel just can't let go of his wife. So he transforms and starts looking for someone to akumatize, and then he senses Mr. Damocles saying, what if Bridget is right, or Jacqueline? What if Jacqueline is right? Maybe I shouldn't be a hero. Maybe I should just focus on being a good principal. And he's like, oh, Jacqueline, that's the person whose alliance was going crazy. So yeah, that's gotta be Ladybug. So he grabs the pig and the horsepower, so that he can teleport his Mega Akuma to Mr. Damocles and gives him the power of Jubilation, so that he can, use the power of gift for Ladybug and Cat Noir, and tells him, yeah, that young lady who told you not to be a superhero, she's actually Ladybug. She's only been pretending to support you because she and Cat Noir believe that they're the only people who could be superheroes. So he convinces Mr. Damocles to let him akumatize him, and he becomes Darker Owl. I actually thought this was a subtitle error, but then it turns out later on that we see, Ladybug and Cat Noir coming along, and they're like, oh, it's Dark Owl again, and he's like, no, can't you tell from my costume? I'm Darker Owl! And it's like, that really is your name? Okay. I guess because it's a Mega Akuma, but they fight, and he uses the Jubilation power on them. But before then, she uses her Lucky Charm and gets an alarm clock. So we get that whole scene. Before then, we get the whole scene with him going into the shop and accusing Jacqueline of being Ladybug, but then she says she's not Ladybug, and they use Gift, and they see that her dream is to be a superhero with Ladybug and Cat Noir, and for them to praise her for her good work in helping them, which is kind of sweet when you think about it. She's just like Mr. Damocles. So they realize that she's not Ladybug. Not a huge scene, so we can move on from that because there's not really much to analyze there. But this next scene where they're fighting him and they get hit with Gift, that is the major thing. And of course, Adrian finds out about everything because he sees the alert on Alliance. And I will say it is kind of interesting that the Alliance he's not wearing the Alliance. It's just sitting there on the desk, and of course Plag is playing with it, like, when are you gonna bring me my cheese? And Adrian's like, Plag, it can't hear you. You know you're not detectable by technology. So it's like, yeah, that is true. And then he gets an alert about Darker Owl and transforms to go help save Jacqueline. And then when they realize that he's got the power of Jubilation, Ladybug immediately uses her Lucky Charm and gets an alarm clock before she and Cat Noir end up actually getting hit by the power of Jubilation. And this is where we get all of those Jubilation scenes that we saw before. So after they get hit, they have this dream that they managed to defeat Darker Owl, and then they find in his pocket a card with Monarch's address. So they go and find Monarch and defeat him, and then all of a sudden they're relaxing and having fun, and then they both confess to each other and they kiss, and then they get married. So we've seen that in the trailer. And then they have the creepiest looking babies. Like, they look like actual baby dolls. I'm guessing that's to be that's just to get past the whole fact that they haven't been aged up yet. So, like, you're basically insinuating that they woohooed and had kids at 14, which is gross. it's like I could kind of forgive the fact that they haven't aged up because, like, oh yeah, this is a dream. It's kind of like in the Owl House when King has that dream of meeting his family, and it's basically just King with a mustache is king of dads, and then you get 3 little kings that are all his little siblings, and it's like it's kind of like that, but it's still also kind of weird, like. So, like, the whole baby doll thing, the baby dolls are kind of weird. It was kind of interesting, though, seeing them, like, with the group of superheroes, and they're about to go fight a villain, and Cat Noir's the one carrying the baby, and Ladybug's like, don't cataclysm the waddle warmer this time, which is kind of funny. He's, like, insinuating that he did that the last time. And then, we just get all these scenes of them being like a family, and in every scene they've got more kids. It's like, Marinette, I thought you only wanted 3, and they've got 4 by the end of it. Also, I kind of love how there's this one shot of them on vacation. Cat Noir's got like a mustache to, like, I guess show that he's an adult, but it's that black fake mustache that you see in all the shows. That black handlebar mustache, and it's like so obvious that he's just wearing a mustache. But then in the next scene, he's not wearing it, and they've got 4 kids, and it's like, and they're being all happy and everything. But all throughout this, we hear the alarm going off, and you get all these visuals of alarms going off, and they keep trying to turn it off. And then eventually, they finally realize that this is all a dream. And they're both sad to find out that this is a dream, and they don't want to wake up, but they're like, we have to. So they share one last kiss, and they're both crying, which is interesting. And then they finally wake up, and they defeat Dark Owl, and Cat Noir almost cataclysms Darker Owl. And it's like, oh my gosh, Adria, don't do it. And there's this whole somber mood from that point on. When Ladybug, he manages to control himself and doesn't actually cataclysm Darker Owl, and instead just, touches the mask and destroys that. And then from then on, they just have the saddest looks on their faces. Like Cat Noir realizing that he almost cataclysmed a person again. He just did that last episode, and it's like, oh my gosh, I almost did this again. And that reality sinks in for him. Like, yes, he was angry at having his feelings messed with, but at the same time, he realizes the gravity of that. It's like, oh my gosh, I almost did this, and this time it wasn't even Monarch. It was my principal, who's a good person. And he's still upset about that even later, and Ladybug is upset too. When she purifies the Akuma, she's got this sad look on her face. Like, you don't even get to see the animation of her doing "No More Evil Doing for You, Akuma, time to de-evilize." She just captures the Akuma without the reused animation, and then pulls it in, and has this really sad look on her face. It's like, and then she walks up to Mr. Damocles. Cat Noir is still upset, and then when we see her pulling out the magical charm, we see she also has this really sad expression on her face, like, oh my gosh, this just happened. And then she uses her magic ladybugs, and she still looks sad. And then we get, and it's like, wow, that's like really, they really did that. It's like, this is important because it's showing, that there are consequences to everything that's been happening. So, yeah, I definitely don't recommend skipping this episode. This is kind of a mundane episode, but like it's still a good episode. It's just that whole thing with them having babies is weird. But they finish up, and then Ladybug, while she's still transformed, I guess she probably went back to feed Tiki first to make sure she didn't de-transform in front of Jacqueline. But she goes back to the shop, and she talks to Jacqueline about not pretending to be her, and how it's like, yeah, I appreciate the thought, but you don't have superpowers. It's really dangerous, and so please leave the dangerous stuff to me and Cat Noir. And she understands, and they hug and everything. And then we get one last scene of Marinette with her mom. And Marinette and Sabine is like, oh, that was really sweet of you to help me out today. So I went out and got this for you. And she gives her a box, and it turns out to be an alliance ring. And Marinette, remembering what happened earlier with Jacqueline's ring, realizes that's actually kind of dangerous. Because she saw that when she went out as Ladybug while wearing Jacqueline's ring, it said that she went all over the place, so that would not be a good idea for her to have one of those. It's actually really dangerous. So she comes up with the excuse of, well, rings aren't really good for drawing, which, is definitely one thing that I would definitely agree with. I don't even like drawing with one of those artist gloves, because it's kind of weird on my hand. When I'm drawing, I don't like it. So I've got a tablet that doesn't recognize hand touch, so it's fine for me. But then, Tiki asks her later on, why didn't you accept it? And Marinette explains it would be really dangerous to wear it. And it's like, yes, this is true. It would be dangerous because now we know that Gabriel gets an alert when somebody does something inhuman. So it's like, yeah, that would actually be really dangerous because he would find out who she is. So, yeah. So it's a good thing that happened. And then we get one last scene of Ladybug and Cat Noir on the roof reflecting about what happened with Jubilation. And Cat Noir is, like, I'm sure he's still thinking about the fact that he almost cataclysmed Mr. Damocles, but he's focusing right now on the fact that, they saw the Jubilation, and they both kind of had the same dream of them being married with kids and stuff and being happy. And Ladybug is also kind of in thought about this, so, like, I'm hoping that this is going to be Marinette's wake-up call, that she does have feelings for Cat Noir. Cat Noir doesn't even play it off as, man, that would be so awesome if that were real. He actually does seem like he's letting go of Ladybug and moving on to Marinette, which, is good, if not for the fact that Marinette is Ladybug and is refusing to let herself have a boyfriend right now. She even made that comment earlier about how it's too dangerous for her to have a boyfriend right now. Because Tiki even made a comment about how Marinette was blushing and how she still seems to have feelings for Adrien. And Marinette's like, oh no, that's all in the past. Besides, it's too dangerous with Monarch being out there. And it's like, Marinette, please. I've seen the trailer of you breaking Adrian's heart. Please don't do this. I need to draw a picture of Adriana looming over Marinette with an angry look on her face, and Marinette's like really small and sweating bullets because Adriana is not going to be happy when she finds out what Marinette did to her brother. For those of you who aren't aware, that is, I'm doing a What If series on my channel. What if Adrien had a twin sister? Adriana is his twin sister in that series. But those of you who are not new to this channel already know about her. But anyways, they talk about how, yeah, it would be super weird. And then, they close out into the sunset. So yeah, that's about the end of the episode. I will say this. There is one thing that I did notice was missing from this episode, and that's the fact that we saw another trailer of Ladybug holding up the Alliance ring, and it looked like she was in Jacqueline's shop, but we didn't actually see that in this. So it is very possible that we might get to see Jacqueline again, because I do remember thinking that it didn't quite look like the art room. So I think we are going to be seeing Jacqueline again, which is going to be interesting. So let me know what you guys think. I am going to go ahead and do a poll to see which name you guys like better. Do you prefer the name Jacqueline, or would you prefer that they called her Bridget? We'll see if maybe the English dub will call her Bridget, because that's the name that we know more. The English dub doesn't usually change names, but I mean, aside from the fact that we did get Hawkmoth instead of Papillon, so we'll see if maybe that was it. This was the Brazilian dub, so this might not be, she might not actually be called Jacqueline in the French version. It is possible that that might be a Portuguese dubism instead of her actual name in the French version. So I guess we'll see. We'll find out on Saturday when it comes out in English. Once again, if you have Disney Plus, or no, not Disney Plus, if you have Disney Now, or just cable in general, please find a way of watching the episode when it airs live on Disney Channel this weekend on Saturday. It'll be out at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday the 29th. So please, 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 if you are going to watch the subtitled version, please still find a way to watch the English dub. I cannot stress this enough. Yes, you can still watch the subtitled version online if you really want to avoid spoilers. I'm doing this so I can get my review out, and also, again, I like giving my spoiler-free review to you guys, and this way I don't have to avoid social media. But I do still recommend watching the dubs when they come out on official sources if you are able to. Please support the official release. Make sure they know that we are watching, and yeah. Also, there is another channel that is airing the episodes officially. There is a YouTube channel that has actual official licenses to post the episodes. Let me get that name real quick. Division Kids. I will leave a link down below to Division Kids channel so that those of you who don't have cable but still want to support the official release can go watch it over there when they release episodes. They don't have any episodes yet, but they will be posting episodes very soon. So that is going to be a great place to watch for those of you who don't have cable but still want to watch official releases of the episodes. So absolutely, I highly recommend watching those episodes when they go up. They are going to be out on their YouTube page next month. I just looked it up. November and December is when they are going to be releasing these episodes. So if you do not have cable and have no way of watching these officially, I highly recommend you go watch on their channel. They have other shows too. Please support the official release and make sure that they know that we do want more and that we are happy for these more plot-driven episodes, because this is going to be really good for Miraculous. I'm really enjoying season 5 so far. We're only 4 episodes in, but yeah, this is going to be really good for the show. So definitely make sure to support the official release where you can. I'm going to stop rambling about this because it is very early in the morning for me. I couldn't sleep last night, so yeah, I figured, well, it's out, so I might as well go ahead and do this now. But I'm going to go ahead and get this video edited and get it out and try to get more sleep before my stream today. Again, we are going to be playing Miraculous Rise of the Sphinx, so definitely look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos from me. We do all sorts of fun stuff on this channel, including play video games, we do art, and also sometimes talk about cartoons and anime. So if you enjoy this stuff, then be sure to ring that bell icon to never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a very magical day. I can't get my avatar to do that wave note to save my life.